Florida Governor Ron DeSantis apparently used public money to give to his wife's charity, which then got cycled back into helping Ron DeSantis. Big shocker. According to reports from the Miami Herald, Florida government had redirected part of a settlement to a state-affiliated charity overseen by his wife rather than returning it to state and federal coffers. A move that contradicts previous claims, of course, that the money was an independent donation from a private healthcare contractor. So what happened? So the Miami Herald reported on Tuesday that they found a draft agreement between the Florida administration and Centene. Centene happens to be the state's largest Medicaid contractor who was caught overbilling. They were overbilling the government. Okay. Now, they overbilled by about $67 million. So, oh, look, more Medicaid fraud. Great. And of course, it happened in Florida. But it gets worse. Okay. Rather than getting the full $67 million settlement back from Centene, $10 million of it went to Hope, Florida, which happens to be overseen by Casey DeSantis, Ron DeSantis' wife. Now, the settlement finalized in September 2023 was a result of a negotiation stemming from allegations that Centene had overcharged Florida taxpayers for prescription medications. The $10 million were then distributed to the two nonprofits that are not required to disclose how they spend the money. The outlet detailed, these groups later transferred $8.5 million to a political committee tied to DeSantis' then chief of staff, James Uthmeyer, now the state attorney general. Oh, would you look at that? It appears that Ron DeSantis and company are continuing the fine Florida tradition of defrauding Medicare and Medicaid. Yes, that's right. Great. Now, DeSantis claimed that this $10 million was just a cherry on top of the settlement. Oh, yeah, no. This company, Centene, they just decided out of the goodness of their own heart to give us an additional $10 million to my wife's charity. Which already, I mean, if that were the case, that would still be shady as hell. But no, it wasn't part of the settlement. It was part of the original overbilling identified in the draft agreement dated February 2022. The Herald added that the attorneys who worked in the early stages of the case, including Lawrence Diaz of the law firm Liston and Diaz, stated that they approached Florida about the issue and were unaware that any portion of the settlement would be redirected to a so-called charitable foundation. The firm was dismissed before the final deal was reached and did not receive any compensation for its work. Wow. DeSantis' office claims the settlement was legally sound and was beneficial to the taxpayers. How so? How sending $10 million to a DeSantis-run charity beneficial to the taxpayers? Kind of sounds like the swamp. Kind of sounds like corruption. A little bit of self-dealing here. And by the way, it doesn't just sound like that way to me and to those of you listening at home, but apparently even Republicans are not happy with this. State Representative Alex Andrade, who has been investigating this issue, said, quote, "This was Medicaid money that was squandered, plain and simple." Yep. He also raised suspicion about the possibility that the funds were used for DeSantis' campaign against recreational marijuana. That's right. Saying that they were in no rush until suddenly they needed the cash to fund it. Now we're just trying to drill down on those whose bright idea it was to carve out the $10 million for Hope, Florida. I mean, it should be fairly obvious here. He used that money to funnel it to a charity, which then funneled it to his own political committees to then do a campaign against legalized cannabis. That's it. That's what happened. The amendment, by the way, to legalize recreational marijuana happened to be defeated. It's almost like that $10 million actually really helped with their whole program. House Speaker Daniel Perez said that it appears that DeSantis transferred the $10 million to Hope, Florida in the dead of night. in the dead of night. And apparently in his basement. Okay, so yes, this is incredibly shady, huge scandal. Now, hold on here. This scandal isn't just going to rock the DeSantis administration. It's also threatening to destroy the candidacy of Casey DeSantis, who is looking to replace Ron when his term is up. So now, here's the thing, though. Will it really hurt Casey DeSantis? I mean, Rick Scott pulled off America's biggest Medicare fraud, and he still became governor. And now he's a senator. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe stealing from Medicare and Medicaid is not really frowned upon in Florida. I mean, if you could be Rick Scott and pull that off and still win, then I guess there's still hope for Casey. Which doesn't surprise me at all, considering that it is still Florida. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.